All right, so good day, guys. Welcome to another edition of our community meeting. I know that it's been quite like a while, but I guess that we are making progress and we are getting better, basically. And then, yeah, for the assignments and then the things you're supposed to have been doing, I trust that we've been doing that and like making progress, basically. So, yeah, we'll quickly just look at a short topic today. It's part of our learning goals for product design, and then we just make progress. So, we are looking at design critique and we are looking at how to handle, how to give, and how to receive feedback. So, before like we continue, I'd just like to ask, um, has anybody actually gotten like a feedback on your design work? That's one. And also, was it like a good feedback? Like, was it good or was it bad? So I'd just like to hear. Actually, have you gotten like a feedback on your work before? And then was it good or was it bad?
It's good. I've gotten feedback from my work, but it's good. I've gotten good feedback. I've gotten negative feedback, but it was like constructive feedback. And then I'm saying I'm supposed to actually like this person is value to their comment.
Oh, okay. Let me ask in a ratio of like let's say maybe yeah, you can in a ratio of percentage, assuming you had feedback, let's say it was 100%. How many have you gotten that maybe is good and then bad? Like what's like ratio? Do you get like more good feedbacks or more bad feedbacks?
I'll try to get more good feedback compared to bad.
Okay, all right, that's nice. Me too. I also get feedback. Sometimes feedbacks are good, sometimes they are bad. Some feedbacks when you get them like this, you want to you want to curse the person that gave you the feedback, or some feedback when you get them, it will if you have to affect that feedback, you would have to like go back, like probably have, maybe restart the project, or maybe have to pause, maybe have to change something, change many things, depending on what the feedback is on and who is giving the feedback. And sometimes it's a very good habit or it's a good character for a designer to be able to receive feedback. Again, feedback is not just for designers. Like anybody, like living person, would always collect feedback from people. Like you always be needing feedback. Why? Because you are not perfect or nobody's perfect. It means that you can make mistake. And if you cannot, what's the word, accept feedback or receive feedback, then there's something wrong with you as a person. Not even forget design now, because human beings should be able to receive feedback. Why? Because everybody, like nobody is error free. You can make mistakes. There can be something bad, and it just shows that you are humble enough to admit that okay, you are not always correct. And it's a good habit for like designers and for life, basically, that you can give feedback and then that you can receive feedback. Okay, so let's just go into the slides. It's going to be very short and then we'll just wrap up. Okay, so yeah, quickly, what is feedback? So feedback is a constructive input or observation that helps a designer improve their work. It plays a crucial role in evaluating usability, clarity, and overall effectiveness of a design. Again, it's saying that feedback is constructive input. We should know that feedback sometimes is not constructive. Sometimes feedback is destructive. Like somebody just wants to talk because maybe their wife does not like it or their husband wants it to pop. And that's why they're giving feedback. That's not exactly constructive feedback. But again, we are looking at a use case where we are dealing with constructive feedback. That's like positive feedback. Oh, you can be better. And then it says that why does feedback matter? Again, it helps you to spot like blind spots like that you may not notice. There is this particular bias in design that is called sunk cost fallacy. If you went through that Google course, you'll have probably come across it. And what does that mean is that as a designer, like the more you go into a project, like deeper you go into a project, the more like you have like more blind spots, and then the more you cannot detach from the project. So maybe I've worked on a project for like 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 1 year, maybe 2 years, self. And then your stakeholder now comes and say, oh yeah, oh, this thing, come and change it. Even if your stakeholder is correct, there's this bias that will occur that, oh, imagine you have spent all your productive time in a particular design or particular project and somebody wants you to change something. Sometimes it can actually blind you to actually seeing what the thing, what to change is. Why? Because you are fixated on that design and they have developed like a bias because you have been working on the design or the project for a long time. Again, feedbacks help you to like improve the user experience and design quality. Like I said, with any product that you ever get to build, there's what they call like MVP or there's progression basically. And that's why it doesn't matter the app that you use now, even in 2025, they will still roll out updates to like Kingdom. Like forever they'll keep rolling out updates. Why? Because they are getting feedbacks, customers are complaining, they are making changes, they are making observations, and like that, they're actually making progress. So because of the fact that you want to grow, or you are a progressive company or a startup, whatever the case is, you'd always have like customer input that will spur you on to like make changes. Those changes will now be reflected as updates, and they begin to grow as you get better. Again, feedback help to like build a culture of growth and openness. I've just mentioned that as a forward like thinking company, if you look at their first product, maybe their first MVP or their first product they put on the App Store or Play Store, it is maybe most likely it's always like shit in that sense. Like if you look at their first iteration, but then they have gone over time and see how good they are. There is no banker, for instance, maybe even GT Bank. If you look at GT Bank, let's say 5 or 10 years ago, compared to GT Bank app now, they have made like significant you get progress over time. Why? Because they are open to like receiving feedback. And that feedback has helped them like you get scale up and also like make like very key changes in the experience that people have when they use their products. So let's just continue. How to give good feedback. So we're looking at how to give good feedback. We're not going to look at how to give bad feedback because I don't expect that as a human being and even as a designer that you should be trying to give bad feedback. No, we looked at constructive feedback. Something that is constructive that will help the person better, that will make the product better, that will grow you basically and help designer. Again, be clear and kind. Criticize the work and not the person. So you want to give a feedback, don't fixate on the person. The person is not the design. The person and design are two different people. So you want to be clear and you want to be kind. You don't focus on the work, on the design, and not the person. You know, sometimes when you work in a toxic place, people will now begin to focus on people instead of like real issues. Something is wrong with design, not the person. And you should be able to isolate the person from design. Again, it says here that focus on what works and what can be improved. Again, focus on what works. This is like clarity again. Be clear. What is working? What can be improved? That's what feedback is. Oh, this one is working. Oh, this one can be better. That's what feedback is. And a good rule of thumb is that when you want to give feedback, first of all, commend the people or commend the person for what they have done right. Because bad as it is, they must have gotten something right. Like it doesn't matter. Even if they didn't get anything right, the mere effort of putting out a particular design, it surely must have cost them time and a lot of resources and energy. So even if the output is not like what you want, first of all, commend them for what they have done. Like, okay, this one is actually nice. And then you can now focus on what can be improved. So that's like how to give feedback. Again, it's giving like some phrases that you can use. Oh, have you considered doing XYZ? Or have you considered maybe adding this one, removing this one? That's feedback. Again, feedback, again, good feedback. This part was unclear because of XYZ. You can see how they are focusing on what is the issue or what is the problem, this part, like this particular part. When somebody says a feedback like, oh, everything is bad, obviously that's not a good feedback. Oh, I like it. That's not a good feedback. Oh, you did well. That's not a good feedback. Like you focus on, oh, this part actually works, but this part is not good. It can be better because of XYZ. Again, under like giving like good feedback, he says that, oh, I like how you handled X. One idea to improve it could be Y. Again, you can see that they are trying to commend the person first that, oh, I like what you did here because they put in effort. But, oh, you can actually do this to make your design better. That's them now giving like places for improvement. So again, you want to start with commendation and then now go to giving like you get places for like improvement, basically. Let's move forward. How to receive feedback. So there is a place of giving feedback and there's another place of receiving feedback. Most times as a designer, you will be on both end of the spectrum. It means that at some point, you'll be the one to give the feedback to maybe a junior designer, maybe to other people, maybe not even design team self. It could be like to maybe marketing or something else or board meeting, whatever the case is. It is not always like design related in that sense. So sometimes they will ask you, oh, what do you think about this presentation? What do you think about this, about that? Then you know how to give good feedback. Again, how to receive feedback. Again, stay calm and open-minded. It's a bad thing for someone to want to receive feedback and then you're already agitated and you want to fight, like you're already in a defense mode. Then something is wrong. You should stay calm and be open-minded. Open-minded because you can be wrong. Design can be wrong. It's not about you, it's about the design. Again, it says avoid getting defensive. Don't try to say, oh, when you say this thing is not good or this thing can better, and you want to explain it, like something is not good, but you want to explain why it's not good. That's not like you're not being open-minded and you're being defensive. Like, first of all, accept that it's not good, And then maybe later on you can now say, okay, this was my own thought process, but okay, this is the way it came out. Okay, I'll try to work on it to be you get better and XYZ. So again, stay calm and open-minded. Avoid getting defensive. Like nobody's it may look as though they are drawing swords, and so you have to take your own shield. No, it's not like that. It's not design is not war. It's not supposed to be that deep. It's just design. It's not that deep. So avoid getting defensive. And again, if something is not clear, ask for examples. So again, you because you want to receive feedback well, if somebody says, oh, something, 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 and this is the way you actually cut out like feedback from feedback or cut out, you get the main matter or dive into the main point. When somebody says, oh, I don't like what you did is wrong, or I don't like everything is not correct, ask them that what exactly do you mean? That's you trying to receive the feedback. Okay, yes, you say it's not good. Can you tell me what exactly? And if you find out for most people that just give feedback like destructive feedback or do not give constructive feedback, most times they don't even know what is wrong. They sometimes it's just gut feeling. Sometimes it's just them just trying to badmouth like you get your work. And so you must be able to like tell them to narrow down, like be clear. Give me an example. What do you mean here? What are you trying to say? Can you show me a similar whatever that what that is similar to what you're trying to say in that sense? So that way you're asking for examples if something is unclear. Like it's not just to when they say something, just say, okay, I've heard, okay, I've heard. Sometimes you have not heard, sometimes you don't understand. So like it's okay for you to actually ask for examples. Again, I said that remember that it's about design, not about you. Again, when they give you feedbacks for your work, it's not about you, like no hard feelings. Like I said, sometimes people may even talk anyhow, or they may get just want to talk to like you get size you down and stuff like that. Just put it at the back of your mind that it's not about design. So it's not about you, it's about design. Like it's not just isolate yourself from design and let the person like focus on design. And if it's obviously there are toxic people that you work with and they just want to badmouth you and leave out design, that way you just have to be clear and focus. Like you have to turn the conversation around and focus on design. It's not about me. Just tell me what is wrong with design. Tell me where I can be better. Tell me what is wrong. Tell me areas for improvement. And then that way you can just like make progress. So again, it's not about design then. It's not about you. It's about the design. And then finally, okay, yes, how to handle bad feedback. Again, yeah, you would not always get good feedback. That's the truth. You will not always get good feedback. There are feedbacks that you get, and then somehow you just think that, oh, what did this person not even like think that somebody actually took out their time to do X, Y, Z, and maybe you want to get offended. So again, how do you handle bad feedback? First point is filter the useful part. Again, even in poorly delivered feedback, there may be a helpful insight. Like I said, even if the person like doesn't say it right as per does their tone and their language and their voice, maybe it's condescending and they are shouting and they're authoritative and all those things. Truth is that in all of the bad things, there's still like something useful. So like a skill that you will learn or build over time is how to actually filter the useful part. It's not everything that will be useful. That's the truth. If they say, "Oh, make it pop, make it do this one, make it do that one," like okay. For instance, assuming the real issues that maybe there is not well aligned, or maybe hierarchy is not good, and they are saying make it pop. Filter the useful one. You get the one that can actually be done, that is feasible, and then do it, and then make progress because it's an helpful insight. It doesn't matter how like they said it, even if it's poorly delivered. There's always something helpful to speak. Number two is that don't take it personally. Like it's not that deep, like I said. Separate yourself from design. Separate yourself from design. Like you are not design. Design is separate from you. It doesn't matter how much you spent, how long you have been on the project, you are still not design. Like when you talk about design, don't be too, it should not be that deep. It should not be that deep. Again, ask clarifying questions. I mentioned earlier that if you want them to give you examples, ask. Because most time people don't even know what they are saying. That's the truth. Like a lot of people that want to give feedback, they don't really know what they are saying, or they don't even know how to put you get their words in the right way. You're the one that has to like steer the conversation and allow them to actually say, okay, can you give me an example? Or do you mean this? Do you mean that? Sometimes you even have to give them like leading questions that, oh, this thing, is this what you mean? Oh, is this the way XYZ does their own? Is that what you're trying to say? And in that way, if you begin to like ask deeper like questions, you get to like a place where you can be on the same page. So again, ask clarifying questions. Again, speak up respectfully if the feedback is unhelpful. Like I said, if you notice that somebody you are maybe are getting bad feedback and the person is now making it about you, like the person has left design now and is now focusing on you, you are the one that has to like steer the conversation. Because if you don't steer the conversation, it will just be about you. And that way you can be depressed or you get be sad and angry and all this kind of stuff. When you notice that the conversation is shifting, you are the one that will actually have to bring them back. And, okay, let us go back to design. What exactly is confusing you? What exactly don't you understand? Can we focus on, like, you have to actually reroute the conversation. If not, human beings can also be manipulative too. Like, they want to share, make you feel bad, like as though you did rubbish or you did not take out time or you were not thoughtful about your process. Meanwhile, maybe you were thoughtful. And even if you're not thoughtful, I'm saying that you still put in effort. And there's a way to actually come into that place where you can reroute conversation. They are saying maybe Z, bring them back to A, or they are saying maybe 100, bring them back to one. Like, you're the one that has to say, okay, what exactly confused you? Like, what exactly is the issue? And then that way you can actually reroute and then you can come back to the main matter, which is design. Again, under handling bad feedback, learn and move forward. Like I said, everybody has their own fair share. Everybody at one point of their life has received like bad feedback. And it's saying that just use that opportunity to grow your confidence and your design judgment. So when you get feedback, like I said, you have isolated the one that is good, the one that is constructive. Sometimes just learn and move forward. Like, don't there's no need to argue and try to defend. Oh, yeah, this one, that one. That. Then it comes to like a verbal battle, and everybody's trying to. It's a battle of right and wrong. You should see it beyond right and wrong. It's not about who is right and who is wrong, because it's about the user. At the end of the day, if you are right or if you are wrong, it doesn't really make so much sense if the user does not get benefit. So again, it's not about the user. It's not about you. It's about the user. Like I said, learn and move forward. Every feedback will be an opportunity for you to grow, good or bad. Just ensure that you are growing your confidence, your design judgment, and you can better communicate your decisions. Like, okay, this is why I did this, this is why I did that. And that way, your stakeholders will appreciate you for you get what you do and then for who you are as a person, because it shows maturity that okay, this person can actually undo like feedback, good or bad. And then yeah, that's like basically our topic for today. I hope that we have learned one or two on handling and receiving feedback. So, do you have any questions or do you have any clarifications? I think we are basically done. Do you have any questions?
On
Thank
my
you.
end, I don't have any questions.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Okay, no problem. Any other person, do you have any questions or any clarifications? Do you
No
understand?
question from my end.
What do you say?
No question.
No question. All right, no problem. That's all right. So yeah, yeah, we'll just stop here for today. Like I said, this is supposed to be our topic for like this new week. I'll try and put out like articles that we can read, but again, much of all these things is practical. That's why there's no really assignment like that. You receive feedback as a human being, not just as a designer. Like where you work, people will say something, even in other non-design spaces, family, friendship, people will say the things they don't like or things that maybe get them pissed off. Is for you to actually isolate what is good, what is constructive, learn, grow, and then move forward. And yeah, we're just better people actually if you actually learn to give and then receive feedback. Sometimes, like I said, you'll be the one giving, and sometimes you'll be the one receiving. Whatever the case is, just ensure that you are kind. Like, just be kind. Because one day you may be the one receiving, one day you may be the one giving. Just ensure that you are kind. So yeah, we'll just stop here. Thank you guys for joining. Let's enjoy the rest of our week. Let me just stop the recording here and then we can just wrap up.